Ionizer industry honors, awards, and certifications. Most American consumers are familiar with J.D. Powers and Associates, the group that checks out new cars and rates their performance. But when it comes to the water ionizer industry, most consumers have no idea what to look for and where to find trustworthy, unbiased information. Unfortunately, the industry is still developing here in the United States, so no organization like J.D. Powers or Consumer Reports have weighed in on water ionizers. So consumers are left to figure things out on their own. Luckily, there are ways for them to sort through the marketing hype and find out which brands are really the best and truly deserve their consideration. Since almost all of the information available about water ionizers is found online, no one really monitors the accuracy. As we all know, there is no such thing as the internet police, and people can pretty much say what they want. Because of this, there's a lot of inaccurate and even misleading information floating around out there in cyberspace. So how does a consumer know who to trust? That one is actually pretty easy. A third party with no vested interest in the company. Unfortunately, this is sometimes easier said than done, as some ionizer sellers have gone as far as creating misleading websites that look like an independent consumer protection website, when it is actually nothing but a marketing and sales site for their brand of ionizer. One company has gone so far as to create a website that says it is Consumer Reports. In an attempt to confirm this information, I personally contacted Consumer Reports and was told that the website in question was not theirs and that they have never reviewed water ionizers. So consumers do have to be cautious. The best advice is to be careful when it comes to review websites, as no authoritative source has done a true independent test of different water ionizer brands. What consumers can do is check out the honors, awards, and certifications of each product. Oftentimes, these will be the best indication of which brand is truly the best in the industry. But even this can lead to misinformation and deception. Believe it or not, some online ionizer sellers have created fake review websites and then create a fake Best Water Ionizer of the Year award, which is presented, of course, to their brand. They treat consumers like idiots who can't see through their veil of deception. So if you are going to check out honors, awards, and certifications, just remember this. If it looks like an ad, sounds like an ad, and feels like an ad, it's most likely an ad and nothing more. Before we discuss some of the specific honors and certifications consumers may want to look for, let's talk about the 4 main points to consider when it comes to ionizer industry awards, honors, and certifications. Number 1, is it legitimate? This is the first consideration. Is the honor or certification in question legit? Meaning, is it coming from a trusted and impartial source? And if you're not positive, then it probably isn't. Remember, just because a website ends in .org does not make it a nonprofit consumer protection website. Does the honor or certification seem contrived or fabricated? Has anyone else ever been awarded or earned the distinction? If not, then it's probably been created as part of those brands' marketing efforts, not because they did anything to actually earn any recognition. Number 2, is it important? Does the honor or certification have any real importance? Remember, you are looking for industry recognition, not just some blog with a comment or two saying, "I give this 5 stars." We all know that those type of posts can come from anyone, including the people selling the product. If you're going to use industry recognition in your decision-making process, make sure that the honor or certification has industry importance. Number 3, is it current? Making sure that dates are current is extremely important, especially with certifications. One online ionizer seller had a certification promoted on their website that had expired 4 years earlier and never had been renewed. Most consumers would never bother to think to check if it was current because they would trust that the information being provided was accurate. If consumers really want to make sure that they are getting the best value and highest quality product for their money, they need to be willing to dig a little bit deeper than they would normally have to. Number 4, is it verifiable? The last consideration of the information is it verifiable, which is of paramount importance. I have found that if a claim of having an honor or certification cannot be easily verified, then it is probably not actually held and the claim is being fabricated. Numerous online ionizer sellers have represented having certifications or even being members of industry associations when neither was actually true. If you really want to protect yourself as a consumer, you may need to do a little footwork to make sure that everything a company claims is able to be verified. One of the easiest ways to find out the quality of the end product is to start at the beginning with the manufacturing process. The quality of manufacturing tells a lot about the ultimate quality of the product. If a product undergoes rigorous quality control and exceeding industry standards during manufacturing, it is reasonable to assume that the end product will be reflective of those expectations. However, the adverse is also true, meaning that if the manufacturing of a product is substandard, you will most likely end up with a lower quality product. It's just common sense. Well, Enagic adheres to the highest manufacturing standards and quality control in the entire industry, which, not surprisingly, is one of the main reasons they make the best water ionizers. Now, it would be very easy for any company to tell a consumer that they manufacture their products under strict quality guidelines. But it is something entirely different when an unbiased third party is the one making those claims. This is exactly what Enagic has and exactly what the competition does not have. There is a nonprofit organization called the International Organization of Standardization. It's also known as the ISO, who have created different guidelines for companies that manufacture products. Now, it's not a requirement that a company adhere to these guidelines, but it should be noted that the biggest and best in the manufacturing industry do adhere to these standards, and that the ISO certification is something that any company proudly promotes when they have earned a distinction to do so. It is important to note that Enagic not only adheres to these standards, but that their manufacturing plant has been inspected and that they have earned a number of different ISO certifications. They have ISO 9001, which is a certification for compliance of manufacturing quality. This means that Enagic meets or exceeds the requirements set forth by the ISO for the quality of their products. They also have ISO 14001, which is certification for environmental compliance. This means that Enagic meets or exceeds the ISO requirements for the impact of their manufacturing on the environment. Enagic has often claimed to be an environmentally friendly company, and this ISO certification clearly supports those claims. If you care about the environment, you should make sure that the company that earns your business has ISO 14001 certification. The last ISO certification we will cover may just be the most important. It is the ISO 13485, which is certification for producing medical grade products. This means that the Enagic manufacturing plant has been inspected and has passed the requirements set forth by the ISO to receive this distinction. I think that it is very important to note that no other ionizer company has this ISO certification. This alone should speak volumes as to the quality of the products produced by Enagic. Maybe even more important is that it speaks volumes about the quality, or the lack thereof, of the products produced by other companies that do not meet or exceed or even attempt to adhere to manufacturing standards that would earn them this certification. Dealing with an ISO certified company is one more way that consumers can be assured that the products they are purchasing are the best. Consumers should be encouraged to learn more about the importance of ISO certification, and they should be educated about what those certifications really mean to them, which are quality products offered by a quality company. The next certification we will discuss is one of the most important, especially for commercial application. This is NSF and ANSI certification. These are certifications that address specific requirements that are imposed by agencies like the health department. They are to ensure that products used in businesses like restaurants meet or exceed the requirements necessary when providing things that people eat or drink. Requirements like these have helped greatly reduce the rate of foodborne illness, which is also known as food poisoning. One of the biggest nonprofit governing bodies of the water industry is the Water Quality Association, also known as the WQA. They provide testing and certification services that are used by the biggest and most respected companies in the water industry. In addition to being members of the WQA, Enagic has also undergone the rigorous and demanding review and testing process for WQA Gold Seal certification. It is important to note that this distinction has been issued for the entire Enagic Level X series of ionizers. Enagic has been granted WQA Gold Seal NSF and ANSI 42 certification and WQA certification CSA B483.1, which are two different certifications for the quality of the drinking water produced by the unit. Enagic has also been granted WQA Gold Seal NSF ANSI 372 certification for lead-free compliance. The latest and perhaps the most significant NSF and ANSI certification that Enagic has earned is the NSF ANSI 18 certification for manual food and beverage dispensing equipment. This standard contains requirements for equipment and devices that manually dispense food or beverages in bulk or in portions. The materials, design, and construction requirements of this standard may also be applied to an item that is manufactured as a component of the food and beverage dispensing equipment. This certification is specifically focused for use in a commercial environment. It is very important to note that as of the date of this video, Enagic is the only water ionizer manufacturer in the world that has earned these coveted WQA Gold Seal certification. No other water ionizer has all of these certifications, and no other ionizer is certified to be used for commercial application. This is one more honor in a long list of honors and distinctions that sets the Enagic water ionizers apart from any other brand. Enagic products are the gold standard in the industry. These are just a few of the certifications held by Enagic. Unlike other online ionizer sellers, Enagic has a dedicated page on their website which features these and other honors, awards, and certifications which can be easily verified. I encourage you to check out the information and see exactly why Enagic deserves your consideration. As a consumer, you should demand the very best. Just be careful that you don't fall victim to predatory online sellers who will provide false or even misleading information in order to try to get you to purchase their brand. While it might take a little more effort on the part of consumers to really check things out, it will be worth it in the end. After all, the health and well-being of you and your family may be riding on this choice. So shouldn't you make sure you check things out and make sure that you're making the correct one?